Hi guys, this is Mr. Sassy and I'm here today to do my very first review of the 7 Deadly Sins. It's pronounced Nanatsu no taizai, I think, whatever. This is the manga review because I started watching the cartoons, the anime, and when I got to episode 14 I was like, hell, I'm into this, I want to read it. And I picked it up and I read it from chapter 1 to chapter 110. It took me just one day. Pretty easy reading. The story ain't even close to ending. So I now know everything that happens in the manga. I'm up to date with the manga, and I want to say my impressions, and perhaps I will review this on a weekly basis. I don't know, I'll have to see. But after reading the manga, I had the distinct impression that the author of this manga, and I don't know his name, he or her name, I got a distinct impression that he read Berserk, he read One Piece, he read Fairy Tail, and he put them all together. That's the impression I had. And Claymore, for those of you who read Claymore. Because there are elements of all the series in the 7 Deadly Sins. First of all, most of the manga follow one or perhaps two characters, like Hunter x Hunter follows Gon and Killua, Naruto follows Naruto, Sasuke mostly, Bleach follows Ichigo, and Rukia, let's say, and Rukia. What else? Helsing follows Alucard, and so each series has a main character. Berserk follows Guts. But this series, like One Piece, has a team of characters. One Piece has the pirate crew of Luffy. This series has the 7 Deadly Sins and their captain, Meliodas. So a resemblance to One Piece. Then, because of all the knights and the way things are structured in different citadels, the middle continent is Britannia. It kind of reminds us of Berserk for the people who read Berserk, or of Claymore for the people who read Claymore. So it kind of goes into that aspect, especially with the demons, because there's demons in both Berserk and Claymore, and in the 7 Deadly Sins, and they are powerful as fuck. Then it reminds us of Fairy Tail, because you got the pig Hawk, who is practically happy from Fairy Tail. You got the way of drawing, the way the characters are drawn, pretty childish and juvenile, like everybody's happy even when they are fighting. You're never going to see this shit in Berserk. In Berserk, when they are fighting, they are full of bruises, full of cuts, the blood is dripping everywhere, so it's pretty intense. In the 7 Deadly Sins and Fairy Tail, when they are fighting, everyone goes, they're fighting, wow. So it's not a big deal when they're fighting. You don't get to see characters that wounded. However, the main difference between Fairy Tail and the 7 Deadly Sins is that people do die. In Fairy Tail, no one dies. After they defeat them, they either make friends with the ones they defeat, or they learn they had a problem and that's why they did this, or oh my gosh, you had the problem also, that's why you did all this evil stuff. Okay, no, you don't see that in here. People in the 7 Deadly Sins actually die, so that's good. But the way the characters are drawn, that's a whole different thing. Now, so I think that's all the resemblance with that this series has with the other series. Now, things I don't like. Let's start with the things I like. The things I like is the story. You can see that the storyline is well thought out, at least so far. It ties together pretty well, even though when you're reading it, you're like, what the fuck, this is bad writing. But a few chapters later, you see what actually happened in the description, and you say to yourself, well, that wasn't very bad writing. In fact, that's very good writing. I just didn't realize it at the time. Like in the case, and spoiler alert for the ones who only look at the anime, but for the ones that already read the manga and are up to date, like when Dreyfus fired that shot at Hendrickson, and his foot slipped, and instead of hitting Hendrickson, he hit Elizabeth. I was like, when I read that, I was like, what the fuck, this is bad writing. But a few chapters later, we actually see that was on purpose, that Hendrickson actually was a bad guy, not a good guy, and he actually wanted to kill or wound Elizabeth. So I was like, oh yeah, that wasn't bad writing at all. So the story is well thought, and the characters are mainly, they have some ridiculous powers. I'll say that at the beginning. Like Dreyfus had the power to penetrate anything, I think, and so his will, he could penetrate anything with his will, and withstand anything with his will. Of course, if his will become overflow, if his will was broken, then he had no power. But that's good power. Or the most ridiculous power from every character is Bane. I like how Bane sounds. I'm not going to call him Bane. I like his power, Snatch, because he can snatch anything from objects to your physical strength, and that's coupled with the fact that he's an immortal. That's ridiculously powerful. But anyway, the characters are well thought. The plot is well thought. The character progression and the characterization of certain characters is a little fast-paced. So you don't, excepting the 7 deadly sins, because the 7 deadly sins have a good characterization so far, but accepting them, when it comes to all the others, it's a little bit rushed. You get characterization, but you get it when the character dies and his dust becomes no longer so you get characterization when a character dies and he's no longer relevant to the story. So that's bad. Now another thing that is bad, and I was like, well, this could be a good thing or this could be a very, very bad thing, is when they brought Veronica back. I think Veronica is her name, the princess that died. She also died in the anime. So the princess, the sister of Elizabeth that died, had been killed by a mine. All of us thought she was dead, and apparently she isn't. That bugged the fuck out of me, because she hasn't got any powers. So why bring a character like that back? It could be a bad thing for the story if everyone is reunited and they're all laughing and stuff like that, and she doesn't actually have any importance. Then that's a very bad thing for the story. Bringing a character back just because Elizabeth misses her sister, it's a bad move. It takes from the impact of her death. but if somehow she's going to do something against them, then that may be a good thing depending on what she does. Again, I didn't like it when she was we see that she is alive. Now the story itself is good paced, has good pacing, but I don't like these demons. I liked everything up to the point where the demon showed up. We see the red blood demon, and we see the grey ash demon that Hendrickson had captured, and they look, well, the blood one looks scary but not so much, but the grey ash demon looks very, very scary. And I was expecting some goddamn monsters when the seal for the demons was broken. Instead, we get some kids, and that was very disappointing for me. We get some kid that actually looks like Sonic, and like the kid of Meliodas and Sonic, if you can believe that, and he doesn't look evil at all. Like Dreyfus and Hendrickson, when they fought, they look evil. This kid, not so much. So I don't like demons. When Hendrickson first opens the seal, or tries to open the seal, you see hands of demons coming out of the seal, and they're big fucking hands with claws and everything, and you are expecting some big ass demons to come out. Instead, we get some kids. Anyway, we'll see where the story is heading. I also didn't like the fact that King had to kill Hellbrand 3 times. Like, come on, kill him already. If the fight would have been good if the characterization of Hellbrand was given to us like 10-20 chapters ago, and we already gotten used to the fact that Hellbrand was an important character in the series, and then when you would have killed him it would have made more impact. But when you don't know nothing about Hellbrand, and then you kill him, and then you characterize him, and then you bring him back to life, and then you kill him again, and then you bring him back to life again, and then you kill him for the third time, that just sucks. Even though King's feelings were all over the place because he had to kill his friend 3 times, doesn't justify the chapters, in my opinion at least. But otherwise, the story is good. I will keep reading it. I don't know if I'm going to make a video each week. If I have time, I will. If not, then I'll probably do a review every 5 chapters. But until then, yeah, I think that's everything, and rate, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Have a nice day.
Any rational society would either kill me or put me to some use.